After 13 years of devastating war, Syria stands at a crossroads. President Bashar al Assad has fled, rebels declare Damascus free of Assad, and the world is watching closely. So, what happens next, and how did the global leaders react to this news? The Syrian army announced the end of Bashar al Assad's rule as rebels entered Damascus and declared the city free of Assad. The Syrian president has reportedly fled to an unknown location, leaving a leadership void in the war-torn nation. President-elect Donald Trump took a firm stance, tweeting, and I quote, "Syria is a mess, but not our fight. The US should stay out and let it play out." End quote. This reflects his America First policy of minimal intervention in foreign conflicts. Meanwhile, the United States will work with partners and stakeholders in Syria to help seize an opportunity and manage the risk, US President Joe Biden said on Sunday, December 8th, after rebel fighters overthrew Syrian President Bashar al Assad. In remarks at the White House, Biden said the United States will support Syria's neighbors through the period of transition and will assess the words and actions of rebel groups. Here is what he had to say.
Our approach has shifted the balance of power in the Middle East. Through this combination of support for our partners, sanctions, diplomacy, and targeted military force when necessary, we now see new opportunities opening up for the people of Syria and for the entire region. Looking ahead, the United States will do the following. First, we'll support Syria's neighbors, including Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, and Israel, should any threat arise from Syria during this period of transition. I will speak with leaders of the region in the coming days. I had long discussions with all of our people earlier this morning. And I'll send senior officials from my administration to the region as well. Second, we will help ensure stability in eastern Syria, protecting any personnel, our personnel, against any threats, and will remain our mission against ISIS will be maintained, including the security of detention facilities where ISIS fighters are being held as prisoners. We're clear-eyed about the fact that ISIS will try to take advantage of any vacuum to reestablish its capabilities and to create a safe haven. We will not let that happen.
Turkish President Erdogan called for Syria's future to be shaped by its people, emphasizing unity and territorial integrity. He stressed, and I quote, "There is now a new political reality in Syria. It belongs to Syrians of all ethnicities and religions." End quote. French President Emmanuel Macron described Assad's fall as the end of a barbaric state. Expressing solidarity with the Syrian people, he promised France's continued support for Middle Eastern stability. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz hailed Assad's removal as a hopeful moment but called for swift restoration of law and order, urging protection for all religious and ethnic communities. A longtime ally of Assad, Russia struck a cautious tone. While confirming Assad's departure, Moscow stated it will remain in contact with Syrian opposition groups and urged all sides to avoid escalation. Iran's foreign ministry called for unity among Syrians, urging a quick end to military conflicts and a focus on national dialogue. Tehran reaffirmed its support for Syria's sovereignty. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed Assad's fall, calling it a significant setback for Iran and Hezbollah. He reiterated Israel's commitment to securing its borders against emerging threats. Japan strongly hopes violence in Syria will cease immediately after rebels seized the Syrian capital Damascus and President Bashar al Assad fled to Russia, a Japanese government spokesperson said on Monday. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi said at a daily media briefing on Monday that Tokyo is paying close attention to developments in Syria. Syria's civil war, which began as peaceful protests in 2011, has morphed into a multifaceted conflict with devastating humanitarian consequences. While the fall of Assad marks a turning point, the path forward remains unclear. International players stressed the need for diplomacy under the United Nations Resolution 2254, aiming for a peaceful political transition. However, with deep seated divisions and external interference, Syria faces an uphill battle for peace, stability, and unity. The world holds its breath as Syria navigates this pivotal moment. Will this be a new chapter of hope or just another page in a long saga of conflict? Stay tuned for more updates.